Hello, listener, and welcome to Tim Portalers, the show where we jump around a whole bunch of different games and systems, and try to do so in a somewhat coherent manner. My name is Seth. I'm a writer and game master, and with me I have...
I am David. I like green grapes and red raisins, no form of grape juice, and red wine. Because consistency is for suckers.
And I am Rachel. I like green grapes, red grapes, and grape juice, but not wine.
And I'm Kyle, and I enjoy sugar. Keep it simple.
Yeah. But do you like sugar when it's in grapes?
That is the question.
I will admit, I'm not that much of a grape person, but I do enjoy fruits with sugar. So, grapes and watermelons.
All fruit has sugar,
yes.
sir.
Yeah. Pineapple. Mwah. Coconuts. Good stuff. Well, coconuts. Is coconut a fruit?
Technically.
Coconut is a fruit.
Yeah. Technically.
Okay.
So then, when last we left our Tim Portaling heroes,
Oh boy.
they had found themselves very briefly on Gallifrey, where, well, some of you very briefly, and had encountered the Castellan of Gallifrey, the current Castellan of Gallifrey, and had been taken into custody after you had landed there, seemingly still in your backtracking of whatever course Rilda had taken before when she was in her previous life, which she can no longer remember. And arriving on Gallifrey, you were taken into custody, and as you were being questioned, things were actually not going horribly for a change. And then old Troy Baker showed up, or as you know him, Scarvy. It did in fact seem to be the same individual you had encountered or will encounter back in the world of Shadowrun. Who's to say? And after a brief disagreement during which he froze some time and killed some time, that didn't work. Anyway,
and we made some desperate moves.
Yeah. There was a lot of story points burned, and you almost took him out, but it seemed as though there was a moment of mercy?
Maybe respect, question mark?
Where he was allowed to depart via his vortex manipulator, which he, for some reason, has, even though he also has a TARDIS, or does he? Does he just have a boat? Anyway, questions. Many people's has them. And Memphis had made an attempt to do some time traveling while on Gallifrey with all of their security measures, and found himself hurtled through time. It could have been a lot worse. Ended up taking a bit of time to reflect on his decisions before being picked up once again by the rest of the team in your purple phone booth TARDIS.
Oh, right, and it's a little bigger, right?
It's bigger on the outside.
Yeah.
Thankfully, no. It is not technically bigger on the outside. That would, reverse dimensionally transcendental, which, I don't know, that's a whole other school of spatial reasoning.
Aren't most buildings bigger on the outside?
I guess technically, yes.
These are the real questions, guys.
This is why when you paint the walls, really you're just robbing yourself of some real estate. Anyway.
I didn't think about it that way.
I mean, technically, yeah.
You're making your house smaller. So then,
one tiny increment at a time.
Yeah. Those big paint balls, that's how they get those big balls of paint. They just do layer after layer after layer. Anyway, so then you guys had taken off from Gallifrey and wiped your brows of sweat as you had reconvened and taken off and tried to absorb everything that had just happened. And it looks like everything was gonna be okay. Sidewipe 2, we come back to you guys as you are all bound to various stakes set about a central bonfire, and there appear to be a number of people in 20th century Earth attire that's sort of been, looks like deliberately torn, and they put like war paint, and they're all dancing about with somehow they've cobbled together primitive weapons. It looks like they've like cut up their belts and used them to form primitive implements of destruction. Mm-hmm. And you are, in fact, in the English countryside. Once again, lucky you.
I look to Hideyoshi and say, oh no, not again.
I told you the bananas were not going to work.
Okay.
How we have come to this moment is that you had arrived here in England, once again, apparently this time in the 1980s. And you had rather quickly encountered some sort of cult who had taken it upon themselves to champion the cause of one Fenric fellow. And they apparently are chanting out in some Latin because they think it's cool or that it will cause some desired result. And you are, of course, able to understand it since the TARDIS, which you've parked just a ways off. It's like behind one of the school buildings nearby, and you're like off in a grove of trees that they're.
Are they actually like? Do they look like savages, or are they actually just pretending to be savages?
They look as though they are modern day individuals of around roughly college age, trying to act savagely and doing so poorly. But you are still bound at various stakes, and it looks as though they're planning some sort of sacrifice for the glory of Fenric, as the Latin is translated into your minds. And throughout all of this, Rilda, tied at one of the adjacent stakes to you, is actually looking over and actually conversing with you, Memphis. So you see, it is actually possible to... She can't gesticulate.
Right.
It is actually possible. Yeah, hands bound behind her back. It is actually possible to time travel on Gallifrey, but really you went about it the entirely wrong way. See what you had to do. Like she's trying to.
I can imagine like her shoulders are going, like she's trying to gesture.
And so that's really why you were flung back in time. It was a sort of causality prevention measure.
Gotcha.
So then should we get out these ropes?
I'm just saying, I'm just going to say it. It's so great to be with you guys again.
We're glad you're here with us, Memphis.
It's been a while.
Been a while.
Fenric. Fenric.
Okay.
Now, have we heard of Fenric at all?
It appears, you can tell from their chanting, is these people appear to hold him up as some sort of old, ancient entity that is great and powerful and was wrongfully denied his chance of greatness.
So he's an ancient deity?
Entity. Deity? You don't know. That's subjective, probably, at this point.
It's above my pay grade. So what I would like to do is, since I still have my sword arm, I'd like to extend the blade just a little bit, far enough that I can maybe cut through some ropes.
Yeah. So it's easy enough to just kind of extend the blade. We'll call this coordination. Athletics or fighting, your choice. Or no, subterfuge, actually, because you're trying to surreptitiously sever these bonds.
All right. 11.
Okay. You can spend a story point to succeed.
Is it a failure of being sneaky or a failure of cutting the ropes themselves?
That would depend on which aspect you would like to succeed, because you are going to fail at one of those. Because you can use a story point to bump it up to a success, which is a yes, but.
I'll spend the story point.
Okay. So what would you like to succeed at? Being sneaky or being petty?
I'd like to succeed at being sneaky, and then I'll try again to be cutty.
Okay. Any of you who are near to Hideyoshi can kind of see the glint of the blade that's coming out of his forearm, and still the cultists appear to be dancing about Latin. But once again, it is translated for you.
Sure.
Got snake eyes.
Oh, no. Okay. So
that's an outright failure, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so as one of the cultists is passing by, looks over and sees that you have some sort of blade extending out.
Probably first sees Sahim being like, Hideyoshi, put it away.
What? Oi! This one's got some sort of cyber thing.
Oh, that's it. I've had it. I'm just gonna try and bust out.
He's a robot.
Yeah, that's right. I'm a robot of death. Snap. Hopefully, snap. Did I snap? I'm spending a story point on this one preemptively.
Yeah. Okay. Strength athletics, just to try to bust the bonds.
And again, to clarify, this is modern day, or is this in the 80s? Again,
modern day in the 80s.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
22 this time.
All right. Just Incredible Hulk just bust out of the ropes at this point. A number of them just with their sticks kind of swivel over to you and just try to lunge forward. And I suppose we're in initiative.
Well, I'll be fighting.
Yeah. Do we have any talkers?
I'm currently deciding what I want to do here.
Yoshi and be like, get me out of here.
And you said we're in the woods? In the woodsin?
Yep, but you can kind of see the structures of some sort of school campus kind of in the near distance.
Okay. I've changed my mind. I want to be a doer, and I want to slash the ropes on Sahin's bondageness to cut her out, so then she can do some fighting.
All right. So we've got a doer, Memphis.
And you said... Sorry, I was just doing a little bit of research to see when exactly cell phones were invented. But I'm guessing since they're out in the woods that they probably don't have any technical things because they're trying to act native.
Oh, they could have beepers. You don't know.
Yeah.
80s, super high tech.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Yeah, it looks like in 1979, it's kind of really got started in Japan, at least. So,
I'm surprised.
I don't know if it got here to England yet.
Probably.
Okay. And there's no sort of technology around besides, obviously, off in the distance, you said there's a TARDIS and also some buildings.
Yep.
Okay.
Are you trying to break the game already?
I think he is. That looks like his game-breaking game.
I can neither confirm nor deny, Your Honor. I'm going to plead the fifth. I think for right now, I'll be a doer, for sure.
Okay. So then, I suppose probably the only talker will be rolled then is like, oh, excitement. So, I suppose then I'll just stay here and let you all sort this out. I left all of my fancy gadgets back on the ship, but really, the ship should have known to give me the gadgets anyway, because it did that with that rock before, when I put it away in the ship, and then suddenly it was back in my pocket. She kind of goes on. Then we have our doers, as basically all the cultists are going to be fighters. So who's doing what? Slash. Coordination, fighting.
Coordination, fighting, and since I'm using the sword, I get more bonuses. 19.
Yep, that is a success. As the ropes just kind of slip off of you, no muss, no fuss, Sahin, and you are free.
Okay.
And if you were going to be fighting them, you go to Memphis.
Yeah. Well, were you going to fight them,
Yeah,
Fahim? Okay.
but it's going to be after you do something.
Yeah. I got many options, but the question is which one to do. Now, obviously, I've done it before with the whole shooting myself as an electrical beam into things, but is there like a distance of far away has distance of how far I can do that?
Well, distance would determine the difficulty. So if you're trying to go for something pretty far away, it's going to be more difficult.
Okay. So if I haven't seen anything, I'm guessing I haven't seen anything that they've had that's technology per se. And then I guess the closest thing would be, that's a good question. Which is closer, the buildings or the TARDIS?
Buildings, because like the TARDIS is parked behind one of the structures.
Gotcha. And how far away are said buildings?
Oh, we'll call it. See, we're in Britain, so we'll measure by cricket fields. We'll call it 3 cricket fields. So we'll determine the difficulty for that is
3 cricket pitches.
Pitches? Oh no, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Crickets get pitches. Sorry.
Oh no.
Like snitches get stitches?
All right, we'll say for there's upgraded once for each cricket pitch. So it'll be very difficult. So that's a 24 you're looking for.
Okay.
And what are you trying to do exactly?
I never know.
Well, I was thinking I should probably do something more since obviously we're in, even though it's Earth, quote unquote, it's still the Doctor Who universe. So I probably shouldn't do anything as he did with the Island of Lioness, like doing something druidic because that's crossing streams. So probably shouldn't do anything with, not that there's any druidic magic in Earth? Question mark? Or actually, I might be overthinking this. Could I just do?
Huh?
What?
Do what you're gonna do.
Yeah. I'm gonna instead, Seth, instead of trying to do that, I'm gonna go keep it simple and just do myself like a lightning bolt and just shoot myself down into the earth, like lightning discharge. That's remind myself with lightning and science. It comes from the earth and goes to the sky, or does it go the other way around? I forget.
What?
What?
I'm trying to get out of the ropes.
How
about just turn yourself incorporeal and step forward?
But I think I'm still a humanoid shape though as well.
If you're turning into electricity, it could just be a cloud of electrons or whatever.
Can I phase through stuff, Seth, as my electrical form?
Just make yourself energy and just kind of.
Oh, I thought I still have like some form of some sort, so I can actually like phase through things, like phase out of the ropes.
Too much.
But you phased into the TARDIS on a number of occasions.
Okay, well if I can do that, then I'll just phase through the ropes.
Okay.
I thought I couldn't, so that's why I was holding off on that.
Well, okay, so this will be going basically altering your form, so you have to make a roll for that, right?
Well, technically with shapeshifting, I don't, unless you want to do some sort of rope or some sort of roll.
Okay.
It's been a while since I had to do these things, so I had to refresh myself on all of my abilities.
Wow.
Yep. It doesn't look like I have to roll anything. I thought possessing someone could be a little overkill.
I'll say just make an easy ingenuity resolve.
Okay. I don't know why I was reaching for Star Wars Fantasy Flight dice, but all right.
Could that maybe be a future system?
Possibly. David, same wavelength, snake eyes.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And you said it was again ingenuity.
Resolve.
Well, okay. That comes out to be a grand total of 10.
Okay, so that is technically a success, but since you rolled snake eyes, I say you cannot bump it up with story points.
That's fine.
Okay. Just so as not to overcomplicate things. So you just this is kind of a situation of
Terminator 2.
Kind of, where you shapeshift and go incorporeal and just sort of flop out of the ropes. But yeah, you just sort of splat onto the ground because somehow your structural integrity is failing you. So you're just sort of lying there in a puddle of energy.
You would think with 3 years I would have more practice.
You would. And yeah, then we are to Sahin as we go into fighting, and all the cultists are lunging forward. No, that's why his face is so ugly.
What exactly were we tied to with the ropes?
Some of you appear to have kind of been tied to quickly kind of cobbled together, beams of some kind, like probably fencing posts. And
how big are the fencing posts?
About
okay,
a few inches wide. They're pretty decent size for fencing. And Rilda actually is tied to like a tetherball thing.
Is there a tetherball on it?
We'll say sure.
Does it look like there's an easy way to get the tetherball off?
It's on a rope, so you could just cut the rope.
I'm trying to remember. I don't know that I don't remember having a blade of any sort. I feel like I should have one, but
Sahin without a blade. What are we even doing?
I know, right? I just didn't write anything down about having one, so
Burn a story point. You got one.
Okay. Well, I will. At the highest point with the most rope, I'm gonna cut the tetherball off.
All right, so you're
I'm gonna jump up and try
swipe, cut it off. All right, we'll call that coordination athletics.
Coordination athletics.
Now,
okay.
I feel like I should clarify. Are you trying to get yourself a weapon because you already have a weapon, or are you trying to get like a non-lethal weapon?
This is Doctor Who. Try not to do lethal.
Okay, so it's 2 die plus whatever, unless I spend story points. Okay. And then you said coordination.
Athletics.
Okay. Oh, that's 11 on the die.
Yeah.
20.
Success! You kind of parkour up the side of the tetherball pole, and like it totters, and Rilda's like, "Oh no, not towards the fire, please!" And you just like grab up near the top of it.
Calm down, you'll be fine.
Grab up near the top of the pole, and with the other hand, with the knife, just shing, and cut off at the base of the rope.
And then as I drop down in front, I want to drop down like at the cultists coming at us.
Yeah.
And gesture menacingly
with the tetherball.
With my knife.
Okay.
And then catch them off guard with. I want to catch them off guard.
What was the point of cutting down the tetherball?
No, catching them off guard with the tetherball on the rope.
So it's a fake out with the knife, but okay.
Yeah, exactly.
The real danger is the tetherball.
Exactly. I'm gonna knock them on their asses.
All right.
Excuse me.
Incredibly more lethal.
This is Britain, so it's arse.
Arse, yes. I'm gonna knock them on the arse.
This is Temportalers, so it's butt.
Yes.
Sorry, dear listener. We're sorry to have pierced your ears with such foul language.
And all right, so as you wave your knife menacingly at them, you could technically take a penalty and try to menace them, prevent them from attacking.
Okay.
By taking another action.
What would it be for the roll for menacing? Because I don't know that I have a great.
We'll say definitely be presence and let's say presence fighting. Just to kind of flourish your weapons and it's gonna be.
And then this is after they saw me hardcore parkour up the.
Yeah, so we'll say it's hard. So you're aiming for an 18. So I might want to burn some story points.
Okay, if I spend a story point, it's 2 more die.
Yes.
Which I think that's I'm gonna go with that.
And also, just to clarify, does she take the -2 penalty because she's doing something else, or is this still part of the whole?
Oh right, -2.
Yeah.
And my fighting is 6. My presence is 2.
It's not bad.
With 4 die. I can spend story points after the fact as well if I need to.
To at least get it to a success if it is not.
Yeah. Oh, not actually not too bad. 2 6s, a 5, and a 1. So 12,
18.
18, 19. So I'm already over the threshold.
No, that's a total of 18. It's 2 6s,
Oh.
5, and 1.
Oh, yes, you're correct. Sorry, you added that for me. You didn't tell me we were adding them all up. I was okay, but it's 18 on the die, but then minus 2, but then I got 2 for my presence plus another 6.
So you're looking at a 24, which is that'll be a solid success. I guess this is Britain, so I didn't math. I mathed. Anyway, yeah, you just kind of waving the knife around that they apparently just completely spaced on taking from you when they tied you up, and just kind of swinging the.
I was hiding it in a very well concealed spot because I have a 6 in subterfuge with a expertise in sneaking.
It's a subterfuge.
I like to imagine that you did the same exact thing that you did on the island of Lioness when we got captured, and you just like moving it around because you still had your weapons then too.
I forgot about that.
Just kind of disappears and reappears elsewhere on the body.
Anyways, that's what happened.
So you're waving the tether ball around menacingly like a bola.
I like to think I like parkour up, cut it, backflip down.
Yeah.
And like.
Ooh, swinging around, and you have to swing it around carefully so it doesn't just wrap around the tether ball pole again. So yeah.
I'm like, it's like in an upward.
At an angle.
Yeah, an angle.
So you're narrowly missing Golda's head every time. Oh, whoa.
No, I thought it was on the other side. Or which way are the cultists coming from?
You all kind of would have been faced toward the fire because the plan was kind of,
so they're coming from behind the fire?
Yeah. So
then I wouldn't be catching.
Okay, maybe it would still be getting close.
It'd be getting close, but it wouldn't be that close. Promise.
And all right,
Rolda, you'll be fine.
So there are 5 cultists currently on the attack, and
well, I was trying to menace them into not attacking. Did I menace properly?
Well, I guess technically, you'd be rolling against them. Yeah, no. You as you just take this stance, do you say anything menacing? Or?
I don't. Probably something like, "You guys are idiots."
They sort of freeze in place, all with their different poles or staffs, and like you can like one of them.
Clearly, you guys are just some college kids.
One of them has like a billiard cue or something, and like kind of pause and look at each other. You know, she might have a point. We didn't really think this through, and you know, probably that weird fellow with the hat probably might have known what he was doing. And a few of them are seeming at least to contemplate that, hey, maybe they are being stupid. But pausing for the moment while
stupidity menacing.
Yes. While Rilda's still bound to the tetherball pole. So I don't mean to rush anyone as we get to round 2. As I guess Rilda will just hold her action and wait for someone to address her situation.
I'm going to be a doer.
I'm going to be a talker.
Right.
I will be doing a thing.
Okay. I guess as far as what to go in the order, Rilda would be a runner, because probably once she gets cut down, it'd be like, yeah, we're gonna go. As I guess Hideyoshi, you're gonna talk.
Indeed. So I'm going to use my telepathy to speak into all of their minds at the same time.
Yes! I actually almost suggested that earlier.
So
scared
the TARDIS
out of them.
The TARDIS obviously translates what I hear into something I can understand. Does it go the other way? Can I speak into their minds in Latin? I can. That's fantastic. So in Latin, in an especially horrendous and scary voice, I'm going to say something like, "How dare you assail the servants of Fenric! Flee or you face your punishment."
This kind of goes counter to what Sahin was trying to do, but I like it.
No, it worked. It works together because they didn't know what they were doing, and then it turns out that they were doing it right, and that's a bad thing.
Oh. Cool. Okay, so you're
doing it right, but to the wrong people.
We'll say, yeah, just trying to establish a link with their minds.
That's ingenuity resolution or ingenuity resolve.
Right.
How difficult is that going to be?
We'll say if you're trying to do all of them at once, we'll call that hard.
I'm going to spend a story point on that one.
You all right? Hard is supposed to be something like picking a lock, and you're basically trying to pick the locks of their minds. Anyway.
21.
Yeah, that'll be a success. Not a good result, but a success.
Yeah. Unqualified success. I speak into their minds. I say the words in the scary language in Latin.
Okay. So you don't want to bump that up any higher?
That was just for making contact, right? Not for actually persuading them of anything?
Yeah.
If that's the case, then I think I will stick with my just regular good result.
All right. So as you reach out with your telepathy powers into each of their minds, they'll actually seem kind of just confused for a moment, as like they're not exactly sure where the voice is coming from. And some of them do look over and see you doing the whole...
I don't do that with my hands, all right?
Okay.
I'm trying to be subtle about it.
Okay, so being subtle is probably what compromises it a bit, because some of them are just looking around like, "What? Where's it? What?" And yeah. But you can attempt to further cow them with the presence... presence convince, I suppose.
Okay. I'm going to spend 2 story points on this one.
Okay. They'll be rolling against
3 extra dice. That's a total of 20.
All right. That is just shy of a fantastic, but you got a good result for sure. As immediately they all swivel around and look over to you as you're standing there with the sword just shunk out of your forearm at this point, I assume. And but if you're, then who? Why would if you? Oh,
would you like to stick around and find out?
No, master. Can we go? We're gonna go back to school, I think.
Good idea.
You, if the Great Lord has any further instruction, we will.
You'll know about it.
All right. Various members of this crew just sort of slink off away as they don't scurry away, as they all appear to be trying to preserve some of their dignity, but one of them does look down to the kind of this oozy puddle of energy on the ground. Were we meant to clean that up?
We'll take care of it.
Very gracious fellow servants of Fenric. Turn and walk quickly away. Some of them snatching up their shirts, which they discarded to show off their war paint. Anyway, so as Rilda's standing there, still tied to the tether pole.
That was my doing thing.
Okay.
I was gonna cut her loose.
Well, it's not great to know that the tether pole took precedence, but it's all right.
Well, did you want them to run at you or to stay away?
I preferred not to be cooked.
There you go then. Hence the tether ball.
I appreciate the continued rareness of my body.
Sorry, soul sore.
Unscorched, uncooked. She steps down from the little tire at the base. Well then, honestly, I don't know if they even have tetherball in Britain. So, it's a bit odd not to be concluding one of our little excursions without running for our lives, but I don't mind it. She looks over to the
we
fire.
We can run if you want to.
Started yesterday.
She actually is looking over to the fire at this point. Honestly, if we have something to roast, we could just have a nice meal before we go.
I'm going to look around. Do they have any supplies that they left in their hurry?
We'll see. It looks like there is a couple of packs that have been left behind. You look through them really quick. It looks like there's biscuits, as they say, and maybe not a whole lot in the way of roastables, but...
Well, I bring them back to the group and I'm like, well, I found these.
Ooh, digestibles. Those are delicious.
That's okay. Don't roll it up. And I'll go ahead and reform myself, or try to reform myself.
Give it enough time, Memphis, you're able to reconstitute yourself.
Boy, I'm out of practice. That was fun, guys, wasn't it? It's great to be back on the road doing things.
For those number of years, were you just sitting around, or why are you so out of practice?
Well, I mean, I didn't know how long I was going to be, so I thought you guys would come find me pretty quickly, so I spent a few days just kind of waiting around. And then when it seemed like, time was going along, and I don't need to sleep at all, so I was awake for 3 years, so,
Oh.
Yeah, so that took, eventually I got bored, thought that you guys weren't coming back. So I was like, all right, well, might as well, I guess, start a life on your planets, by the way, is interesting and weird. Got good practice in farming. Spent a lot of time farming and all that.
Wait, you eat?
Well, I had to kill the time somewhat, so I kind of practiced some farming and all that good stuff. Practiced some painting, or at least trying to carve with a rock on a rock. That's not painting, but I was bored. I did, though, find out.
It's what you make of it.
You know what Rolda can actually do? She can actually roll to see if she has something that she wants in her bag. So.
Oh, wow.
She's going to burn a story point because why not? And yeah, okay. She actually reaches into her handbag, just kind of without even thinking about it, seemingly, while she's listening to you, Memphis, and she pulls out a full tray of home cooked marshmallows, in a tray all nicely cut up.
Homemade
marshmallows?
Yeah. I don't know that they're cooked.
Don't you put them in a pan? Oh, no, you just put them in the fridge or something? Anyway, I've made marshmallows before. I just
you
forget.
Have? Oh, I don't think I have.
Wow.
A long time ago. Anyway, but she's like, and she's sharpens a twig with a knife that she presumably borrows.
I grab a twig and sharpen one with my dagger.
At the very least, though, it's just great to be with all you fine folks again, It's just fun. Oh, boy. I'll go around and just kind of quickly hug each one of them.
Oh. Those was rather boring for you.
Well, a little bit, yeah.
We're like, hi, Memphis.
Although, Rilda, I did find out that apparently Scarvy, or whatever his face is, and you weren't around for the 3 years before?
Yes.
At least during that time, so that was a little weird. I was able to talk to some locals, and they didn't know of you or anything like that, at least that I could tell.
Well, we were going backwards, so maybe I'm from forwards.
So you're from the future at Gallifrey when we were there?
Potentially.
Okay. I mean, maybe we could easily clarify this when we get back to the TARDIS. We could just ask, hey, TARDIS, when were you acquired by Rulda, and then, go from there.
Yes, but for right now, I think we've all had a bit of excitement, and just like as the flames are dying in the big bonfire that you were supposed to be sacrificed on, like sits down and is like sticking in a marshmallow, just roasting it where a bed of coals is sitting. I just would like to just take a moment.
I'm pretty sure at the lodge we have done marshmallows before, right? Or is this like a new novelty?
You'd at least read about it if you hadn't bothered to do it. But if you'd wanted marshmallows, Chef could have gotten you some marshmallows.
Okay. I'll go ahead and find a stick. Ask, Relda, can I perhaps use it for marshmallow?
Absolutely. Where did those biscuits go? It's not the same as the proper crackers that are used for it, but I think this is how it's done. As she finishes softening it up and places it between a couple of biscuits and bites into it. Hold on. Chocolate. Has anyone got chocolate?
No.
She reaches into her bag. We'll see. Yeah, she finds some chocolate. Oh, she pulls out a massive, one of those thick bars.
So yes. Mary Poppins bag?
Yes, please.
That's kind of the angle I'm going with it, because you can have different Time Lord gadgets and basically use it as magic pockets to pull out whatever thing you might be wanting. So yeah, basically she's able to pull a Mary Poppins, as she's still in her gothic getup, but sure, a gothic Mary Poppins.
I'm gothic Mary Poppins, y'all.
But yeah, she's pulling out this huge bar of chocolate. She breaks off a huge piece and shoves it into her some more and tries chewing on that for a bit. It's oh, now it's coming together. This was a good idea.
Well, do we want well, actually, I guess I do need to know, would I know what s'mores are?
Well, we can go to your Genesis sheet.
Oh no, okay.
You want us to all roll for that?
If you want.
I want to know.
I want to know.
No.
The unfortunate thing is I have not actually kept up spending my XP on this sheet, so.
Oh,
for shame.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to spend a Genesis story point to know about marshmallows.
Okay.
Is this
story
knowledge?
Do we get story points with this?
Mm-hmm. And I have ready for anything, so I can, once a session, steal one as an incidental, which I do. And then I spend it on marshmallows.
I don't see any story points anywhere.
It's in the same way as Destiny points for Star Wars.
Yeah, it should be.
Oh.
And Seth, to clarify, is this a knowledge roll?
Sure. I don't know that it would specifically fall under no lodge, but sure, we'll say no lodge.
Oh,
okay.
So lodge knowledge?
Yeah.
Okay. Which would be intelligence?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Average?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have your Star Wars dice?
I do.
I have here, 2 intellect and no ranks.
Which, for listeners, the Fantasy Flight Genesis system and the Fantasy Flight Star Wars system use very similar dice based around success, advantage, and triumphs for varying degrees of results.
No.
And Rachel just got a very bad result.
2 failure, exactly.
Yeah. You have never heard of this sort of thing before. You're pretty sure that... honestly, Rilda's just making this up and is lying to you to your face.
Well, no, they're totally real. We had them on that school camping trip, remember?
Oh, that was good. I got 1 success, 3 advantage.
I elbow him real hard.
Vaguely orc-like ribs. And Memphis, you're like, oh yeah, I know what these things are.
I have sharp, tiny little elbows. So it hurts.
Ow, they really, ow, stop it.
Unless GM wants me to roll anything for that.
If you're wanting to do damage, yes. But
no.
Otherwise.
No.
Rilda, I know this is kind of slightly impolite to ask, but what all do you keep in your purse there?
I don't know.
Oh. That's pretty cool.
Honestly, I think this was a spare of my old version of me. So whatever he has in here.
Well, I like chocolate. I like marshmallows. I grab a bit of both.
Oh, don't forget the biscuits.
Huh?
The biscuits, you gotta...
It's the bread for the sandwich. The very sugary sandwich.
I check out how the biscuits taste before I combine.
I mean, they're good biscuits. They're not graham crackers out of game, but it's fine. It'll do.
I without roasting the marshmallow, make a sandwich and start eating it.
Oh, that's what the fire's for. You're supposed to cook it just enough where everything gets really gooey and messy.
The whole thing?
If you want.
How?
I recommend just the mallow.
You hold it in between two sticks, very firmly, perhaps.
On second thought, you should try this.
I finished what I was eating and grab another set of stuff and actually roast the marshmallow.
Pretty sure this is a very Earth custom, so I'm not entirely sure how I know of it.
And then I do that thing where you roast the marshmallow and then you pull the roasted skin off and you roast it again and pull it off. One of my favorite things to do, IRL.
So many hours later.
Yeah, like you guys just spend a few hours just hanging out, eating s'mores as the sun starts going down, the flames begin to die, and there are vague sounds off from the distance as people go about their duties at the school, but nobody comes to bother you or anything, and you can just sit and relax.
Towards the end of the time we're spending here, after I've had a few s'mores. Or what was that? Was that what Rilda was calling them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I will assemble an unroasted marshmallow with the biscuits and the chocolate and try holding it firmly between two sticks and shoving it in there.
Sure, we're gonna roll for that. Why not?
Okay.
Coordination, survival.
Okay. At this point, I waited to the point where I'm not going to care if it doesn't work because I've had it tricky.
Earlier, you mentioned they were college students. Is that British college or American college?
British.
Okay.
What's the difference?
British college is American high school.
Really? Okay.
So what's British college like? Americans' version of college. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
16.
I guess probably.
What's tricky?
15. So that'll be a success.
Oh, okay.
So it's a success, but so as you're holding it there, it kind of dips into the ashes somewhat, and it gets a bit filthy, and maybe a little scorched. But you pull it out, and everything's just sort of oozed together. And
okay.
Yeah.
I try to dust off some of the ash and eat it anyways. Yeah.
You burn yourself a little. It's like, ooh, ow, as you get some hot.
Yeah, no, I was trying to be really gentle, but then after, like, oh.
It's that thing where you just you get some melted chocolate on your hand or something. It just hurts for a second. Anyway.
And I wait for, hold it in the, and put it back in the sticks for a while to let it cool off and then eat it.
It's pretty good.
Okay. Anybody else want one? You can try again.
Rilla actually looks over to her pan of marshmallows, which at this point is empty. I don't think I have any more.
Okay.
Which is probably for the best, because my stomach is doing something strange. It's similar to when I had far too much of that one sauce that you told me I shouldn't drink.
What sauce was that?
Oh. But Rilda, it just occurred to me. Sorry, like I said, I'm out of practice. It just occurred to me. We're going backwards along your path that we met you originally. So we were going backwards up along the earth thing. So what were you doing here originally?
Oh. Probably was trying to figure something out on whatever quest I was on. I feel as though there's maybe something I was looking for here that was probably hoping to, yes. Actually, I should roll to see how much here.
I spend a story point on her roll.
I remember pretty clearly now. It had something to do with acquiring an item or of artifact where I was hoping to use it, much like the pebble ended up working, where I could push my way into another reality. Not entirely sure why I wanted to do that.
This artifact, was it perhaps a staff?
No, I think it was a shield. But I don't think it's here anymore. I think I learned that. It's not here. And that's why I moved on.
That's why you went to Gallifrey.
Maybe.
Because that would be next on your...
Yes. Yes, perhaps.
Now, also, I mean, I'm sorry, I had my face down in the muck for a little bit there during the whole scuffle.
Was that your face?
Well, I think it was my face. Everything was weird. But they said that whoever it was that set up the cult was something like the guy with the glasses or the hat or whatever. What did they say exactly?
Something about a hat.
Oh. It's him again. It's the same man. It's always the same man.
Is that the Scarvy guy?
No, this is another guy.
Oh.
There's another guy?
It's another guy. Every place we've gone, I think we're going in reverse from what the course I took before. I think me before, whose course we are now following in reverse, was following his course in reverse. I think that's what's happening.
Now, is this the same guy, like, say, the scientific advisor?
Yes, that fellow.
Oh. Okay. Why would you want to make a cult?
I don't think he did. I think he stopped the cult. I have a feeling that's what he does.
Okay. Like, comes along and puts a Band-Aid on something and fixes things up.
I don't think that's how he would put it, but perhaps.
Okay.
As I recall, he had a bit of a reputation on Gallifrey as getting a bit too ingrained in history wherever he went.
Sounds like we'll see him again sometime.
Well, if we really are going forward on his course, reverse from my course, backwards on his course, yes, then we should continue to almost be meeting him. But if we're going backwards on my course, backwards from his course, then we will be missing him.
I think we're okay with that. We don't want to see you again.
We
don't want to see old you, because we like you now, not then. But
well, that's
sorry, that was confusing. I apologize.
I thought it would be hurtful, and it actually was rather sweet. So thank you.
Of course.
Nice save, Hideyoshi.
I feel a bit sick. Should probably head back to the TARDIS.
Yeah, what are these marshmallows made of anyway?
Sugar, I think.
You're speaking my language.
She kind of like holds her stomach as she gets up to her feet and just kind of shifts over back towards where you had landed in the TARDIS earlier. Night has fallen at this point, and as you draw closer, she just kind of shoves the door forward as she hobbles inwards. TARDIS, do you have anything for an upset stomach? Thank you.
Well, while she's doing that, I am going to kick a bunch of dirt over the fire.
Yeah, I was going to do the same thing.
Okay.
We put out the fire somehow, some way.
For Oregonians, we know about fires.
Right.
Yes, we do now.
You don't come back in the 90s to find the entire countryside burned down. So, you have reached the TARDIS once again. Rolda appears to have gone back towards the food replicator machine thingy that actually produces food instead of just, weird blocks that have food taste, because this is an old school TARDIS. And she seems to summon up some sort of calming concoction and is sipping at it. And, oh, that's better. So then, shall we be off to the next destination, or did you want to go to school?
I tally ho, as the British say.
I think I've been trying to make heave to stick, but it hasn't.
Nothing, of course, against school, but I think we do have, we want to help you get your memories back.
Of course, who would ever have anything against school?
Not that I know of.
I liked it.
I look around, like, not making eye contact.
Very well. She takes another longer swig of her drink that is seeming to help calm her stomach. And all right, then. Heads over to the TARDIS console, and she's going to make a piloting check.
I shall help.
I believe all three of us will be assisting her.
Yes.
All right. You still do not have a full crew of Time Lords. Going to get +2 from those who help. We're going to be operating at a deficit, so she's going to burn some further story points. That'll land her at all the pluses and minuses. She's looking at a 21. She needed a 15, so that is a success. As kind of the heavy wheezing of your ancient TARDIS echoes across the English countryside as you fade from the night landscape. And you are off once again, hurtling through the space-time vortex.
Do we know where we're headed this time?
Oh, that seems a little optimistic.
That's fair. That's fair. I should know by now. We have no idea where we're going pretty much all the time.
It's called adventuring.
And it's fun.
Yeah, but I'm worried about my sister, okay?
Oh, right, that's a thing.
Oh, my.
And as you see me talk about my sister and being concerned for her, you see a lot of, like, I'm concerned for her, but I hate to show it.
Rolled it down to the rest of her drink. Well, wherever we're going, looks like it'll be a while before we get there. Do we have a question for the ship? I don't remember.
Yes, we do. TARDIS, when did our dear Rolda here acquire you?
The response seems to be trying to calculate what answer would make sense to you.
Here, to simplify things, TARDIS, give it in relationship to when we were on Gallifrey. Because I'm imagining that she picked you up on Gallifrey.
Out of game, I believe this is the correct answer, but the answer should be something to the effect of roughly 12,000 years later.
Okay. So, Wilda, like you said, that would make sense why nobody knew of you guys, because you guys are from the future of the planet.
I suppose, yes.
Although, to clarify, do TARDISes actually get manufactured and made and kept on Gallifrey, or are they picked up anywhere?
Oh, you would only be able to find one on Gallifrey unless you steal one from a Time Lord or lady who had ventured out into the galaxy, which they're not exactly supposed to do all the time without any proper approval.
Well,
but isn't there that one? Oh, wait, no, that was a TV show. Never mind.
Well, not to be too... might as well explore all options. TARDIS, did Wilda pick you up from somebody else, or were you just on Gallifrey, or?
On Gallifrey.
Okay, cool.
Unclaimed, decommissioned.
All right. So that would make... So I guess you and Scarby, then, or whatever its face is, are from the future of Gallifrey.
I suppose so. But if I'm from the same time as he is... I don't know. That doesn't quite make sense.
Why not?
Well, seems as though he is from the CIA.
And I'm sorry, that is...
Oh, something that I don't think was around anymore.
Celestial Intervention Agency.
Oh,
Unless he was some sort of weird holdout faction.
okay. And I'm imagining that during our jump into getting imprisoned or detained from the local natives, that I was probably brought up to speed with what Hideyoshi and Sahin found out about Scarvy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, he did. He mentioned the Wakened. That definitely rang a bell.
You've heard of the Wakened?
I suppose so.
That's both very concerning and also quite fortunate.
We'll focus on the second part. Why is it fortunate?
Because it means that we can perhaps track them down and put a stop to their nefarious plans.
Oh, well, that does sound good. If they are, in fact, nefarious.
They're nefarious. They use Comic Sans on their buildings.
Oh, no. Like,
it
genuinely aghast.
Right? They're just the worst.
Must be stopped. Oh.
Although...
Is Comic Sans and Papyrus?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I would also add the and Papyrus. Don't forget about Papyrus.
Oh.
Yeah, right? They
well.
Yeah. They should be arrested.
Crimes against existence, really.
Don't mean to bring down the mood at all, but didn't he also mention Rolda? I mean, granted, you don't remember anything, and you're an entirely new person at the moment. But he mentioned something like you were wanted by everyone from, like, interfering with realms and time and all that.
Yes, that also rang a bell.
I mean, I guess it makes sense why that might be the case, because you did just mention that you're looking for a shield that would allow you to get somewhere else.
Yes, and, well, to be honest, I believe that the entire course that we're on right now is technically illegal.
Oh, it is?
Because we're bending the laws of time rather heavily, going backwards across one timeline and then cutting back once again. So...
I didn't know that was a rule.
Well, should probably try to be cautious. Although, there is at least the fact that, however the course has been laid in, we are going back to each place after I had been there before and after the fellow I was following before.
So as long as we don't make contact with your past self or a different version of you or the fellow, we are okay then.
Yes. So long as if we... Well, because we're going backwards and backwards again, if we divert things too much from the way they were originally, we wouldn't have been able to go backwards because the timeline would have been altered to the point where... Yes, should probably be cautious.
Okay.
So just like keep a low profile, don't break anything, don't make any waves, that sort of thing?
Yes, I would probably advise a course like that. And you guys are noting, like, as you're talking to her at this point, she is seeming a lot more with it, a lot more aware of the kind of things that she's doing, instead of just being like, "Ooh, what does this button do? Let's pull this lever."
So she's kind of settling into her life, I guess.
Either settling or remembering or...
Perhaps remembering knowledge, if not memories.
Okay. So she feels a little more solid than like this little kid that's like, ooh,
Yeah.
Shiny thing. Ooh, not a shiny thing.
Yeah, you guys have been traveling together for a while, and it seems as though things have calmed down a bit from the chaos of regeneration.
Which, Rolda, I was curious. You were talking about you remembered being at our last location looking for a way to go to another reality?
Yes.
Do you know more about that? Because honestly, that sounds like a good way to try and go rescue my sister.
I understand, but Firstly, I'm fairly certain that what I was looking for was a long shot to begin with. And if we were to try to retrieve it now, it would mean, well, we'd have to alter course, and I'm not sure we could get back on it to be able to go back along the jumps I was making previously.
How many more jumps do we got after this last one?
TARDIS, where did the journey begin when I was going back along the other person's timeline? TARDIS seems to echo just kind of telepathically, even though it's kind of garbled, because I was reminding myself on the character sheet the telepathic systems. Yeah, the telepathic circuit is currently, it's not even damaged, it's just old, so it's a little finicky. So the answers you get are probably mostly accurate, but keep that in mind. But it seems to reply that as in terms of actual stops that were made, it appears as though if you are wishing to stop at each one, there would be 4 further stops,
including our next one.
Yes.
Would it make any sense to just skip to the last one, first one, that one?
Perhaps, but that would mean altering course, and I'm not entirely sure what that would do.
Well,
Okay, we'll just try and make these stops not terribly involved then.
All right. We'll stop in, see if we are able to learn anything, and move on if there is nothing to be gleaned, and try to get you back to where you belong and find your sister.
And to clarify, rolled up. Granted, you probably won't remember until you actually get there, and you might pick up something, but do you think that maybe this previous stop before, the one that we were just at, might have set you off, on course of like looking for the shield, or was the shield kind of something that you were looking for previously, if I'm making any sense?
Well, from what I can seem to piece together, it was a situation of when one hurdles oneself through another person's timeline, there are certain pit stops that must be made if one doesn't wish to dematerialize and be dispersed across the other person's timeline.
Oh, not quite following, but that sounds ugly.
Essentially, one would be left to lead numerous different lives across another individual's timeline.
Okay. Kind of following, but still a little out there, but it also doesn't sound like something that we want to do.
I would prefer not to go that route. I don't know if it would happen the same way now that we're going back along my own timeline, but I would prefer not to explore that.
So you're saying that there might be multiple copies of you now living out your previous... Is that what you're trying to say?
Not if I was cautious and careful about the journey.
Okay.
I hope there aren't numerous other versions of me. I would prefer to be the only one. But of course, there is the previous version of me, and that's kind of something that time ladies and lords have to live with.
That is true.
It's very frowned upon to interact with the previous life, though. It's simply not done.
Oh, but that other guy on the TV show, he does it all the time.
I don't think it's done at all.
Boy, Sahin, you watched a lot of episodes of whatever this TV show is.
I've had a lot of downtime, and I just like sitting and just thinking about how worried I am about Kizma. So watching a lot of TV is distracting.
Gosh, I wish I had TV on Gallifrey, but no, I understand what you're getting at.
Would you like to go watch TV now?
Ooh, is there a TV? Sure.
I think so.
Let's go find one.
Well, I don't know where else I would have been watching TV.
Well, then, Sahin, I guess lead the way.
All right.
Okay, so I will lead the way to where the TV is.
All right, yep. You find in one of the rooms. There's a TV kind of tucked away in the corner that you can pull out, and yeah.
I think that would be in room 3, Sahin's boudoir.
What?
That's what I have written down, Sahin's boudoir.
Yep.
What?
For when we were figuring out which room was what in the TARDIS.
Okay, I don't remember it being the boudoir.
Let's see. Rilda actually pulls out some sort of contraption and kind of waves it over the TV. All right, we have all the channels.
Ooh, what does that mean?
We have every channel that can be received on this sort of device from every time.
Ooh, okay. Do we have like a guide for all this, or?
Well, what sort of thing do you want? You can probably tell the TARDIS, and it'll communicate with this device, and that will tell the TV.
Oh, what was that TV show we were watching? I think. Oh, right. Is it called Doctor what?
Inspector Spacetime. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Inspector Spacetime. I'm familiar with it.
Hey, the last episode I watched, and just.
Yeah. It gets a bit outlandish for my taste, but all right.
Oh my. Does this thing have like picture-in-picture? Because I see here on like the most watched of all time and space, there's this how did 2020 happen? I'm really curious what happened.
Oh, I'm curious what did happen in 2020.
That's a fixed point in time. Don't disturb it.
Oh. That sounds awful.
But
Glad I'm not there.
it's in the menu. Why can't we watch it?
You can click on it if you want, but it's not pretty.
Oh. All right, let's watch this inspector guy. That should be fun.
Oh, to clarify, is it this Inspector Gadget guy or the other Inspector one?
Inspector Spacetime?
It's Inspector.
Are they the same thing, or?
Oh.
If you want to watch Inspector Gadget instead.
I mean, I have no idea what any of these are.
Kyle, are you really not understanding?
Ensuing
Kyle is understanding. Memphis hasn't watched any TV, so he wouldn't know.
Hours of channel surfing, landing on something for a bit, moving to something else, getting snacks, and Memphis asking
Do we find any,
all sorts of questions.
I'd like to say we find some specific anime movies.
I go get some popcorn.
Yeah, easily made for you by the food machine, and probably you all eventually get tired, as it was actually like a full day before, and just kind of sprawled out on various pillows and whatnot in Sahin's boudoir.
Does the chicken ever join us to watch TV?
You mean Iron Will?
Yeah.
It totally does.
Nice. I give him some of the corn kernels.
Yeah. Okay. Does that cause chickens to explode? I don't remember.
I don't think so. Maybe I'll go back to the food machine and get like just some dried corn or something.
No, Seth, I think if we create the machine that the doctor creates in Blink, that would cause chickens to explode.
It goes.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah, I was calling it. It's like, like a 95 or higher. Sure, the chicken just happens to wander by. I rolled a 99. So.
So we see him and we grab him and pull him in.
No, come on in here.
You'll like this. I point at the TV.
Starts pecking at the screen.
No. I hold on to him.
Ting, ting, ting.
Oh, all sure. Right. Now you want to attack it.
We're going to have to work on this, Iron Will.
Its warrior tendencies cannot be contained. All right. Eventually, rest is found, and
are we all sprawled in my room when this happened?
I guess if you're all watching TV and just
we all pass out with the TV still going.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, since Memphis doesn't need to sleep, he's just taking it all in. Keeps on watching TV while you guys are all conked out.
Y'all just wake up a few hours later to see Memphis just kind of like sitting cross-legged up in front of The TV.
The legs are just like.
Oh my god, you guys! I just had the weirdest dream about Inspector Space-Time. And I look, and there's still Inspector Space-Time on the TV. Or what are you watching at this point?
You'll marathon Dr. Space-Time.
Okay. Oh wait, no. That's what I was dreaming about. Weird.
Sahin, shh, quiet. It's the good part.
As I said, it gets a bit outlandish, but it's got spirit.
So fun.
I'm very curious to see where this bubble, wrapped, monster goes. Let's go.
But wait, that's not the same Inspector. That's a different guy.
Right.
But isn't this supposed to be based? I point at Rolda. Like, isn't there a connection? So, like right?
Oh wait, Inspector's supposed to be. Oh.
That's what's called a morphic field, where for some people that what they see as fiction is actually in reality another reality.
That's crazy talk.
So we're watching another reality through the TV?
Potentially.
Wow, so it's like a reality show.
I prefer not to think of it like that.
Oh, okay.
In reality, I suppose it would be more like a recreation of another reality.
Just kind of like intentionally based on true events type of thing?
Yes.
Any resemblance to real creatures is totally incidental.
Except when it's not, but the creators perhaps didn't intend it.
Well, I suspect the bugs controlling their minds might have.
Was that in one of the episodes? I'm sorry, I can't keep up. There's like 500 years.
That was in another one called like Sun Portal or something.
Well, we can watch that next. As there's kind of a chiming from the console room is like, oh, I suppose we've neared our destination. She kind of places a hand against like the nearby wall. Funny, I don't sense that we've reached any sort of planet or station or large vessel.
Is this like the pit stop thing you were talking about?
Possibly.
I get up and head out to the console room and be like, hey, TARDIS, can we see what's out there?
Maybe I just stopped here for gas. As the TARDIS appears to have rematerialized outside of the vortex and brings up the display screen for you and just looking around, empty space. And you actually look around and just see like the broken remnants of a planet or planetoid. And
Rolda?
Oh.
You see that?
Oh.
TARDIS, can you tell us what planet was here?
Sort of fell apart. As the TARDIS is informing you that this is apparently the remains of a world called Orbis. Proximity kind of gives a chime as the Rolda swivels around the display, and you see that there is some sort of small clunker of like some freighter ship just kind of cruising past outside.
What was it called?
The planet?
Yeah.
Orbis.
Orbis or Orcus?
Orbis.
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 Ooh, I got it right first try. And there's a clunker vessel out there.
Well, suppose if we were just wanting to see if there was anything to be learned, perhaps whoever's aboard this ship might know something.
Like, clarify, Rolda, it was a planet the last time you were here? Like an actual intact? Do you have to know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I hope I didn't do this.
Oh, I'm sure you didn't.
I think we should begin by scanning the area and that ship in particular just to make sure it's safe and, see how many life forms are on there.
Right?
And if, Rilda, if you ever get a weird sensation about any of the people on that ship, we are not associating them with them in close proximity. Just gonna say it.
lest they shove us out a door.
Exactly.
Well put. As she is going over to the console and taking various readings.
I'll help.
Okay, +2. Yeah, she usually it's a good result. Well, looks as though there's only one life form over on that ship, and they're hailing us.
Can we get a visual on them, or is it just going to be audio?
Oh, we can probably bring up a visual if we have some sort of contact between us, and with some jiggery-pokery, pretty soon up on one of the screens comes the face of this rather toad-like creature, very, very snub, slitted nose, very, very rumpled business suit attire, and yes, hello. My name is Garandel, and I welcome you.
A frog-like?
Frogman, yeah.
Frogman.
Welcome you to the planet Orbis, the site where the Doctor died.
And he was called what now?
Garandel.
Garandel?
Mm-hmm.
Garendell?
Garundel.
J?
Garundel.
Undel. Okay. Close. I got it. Close.
We are now accepting visitors for the museum aboard my ship. Children get in for free.
So it's the museum. Did he call the museum something specific, or?
He hasn't yet, but he's called. This is Orbis, where the Doctor died, and they have a museum commemorating it. How many in your party today?
4.
Meanwhile, Rild is like, oh, yes, of course, that was his name, the Doctor. This is a fellow we've been following.
Did we get to the... Since we have all of them and we watched a whole bunch of it, how far did we get?
What? Oh, Inspector Spacetime?
Inspector Spacetime.
Well, since that's a community joke and that's not canon in this universe, then it doesn't really have much bearing. It's just goofy sci-fi in terms of this universe.
Curious.
I was hoping to watch the show to the end and then find out where the Doctor went. Because it's an alternate reality, right?
You could try to glean clues from it, but it probably wouldn't give you anything very reliable.
Aww.
Because this universe's fiction of potentially another reality.
I thought since it was it was the Doctor Who world that all channels, all things.
All channels of this reality.
Got it. Okay. Fair. I would mute and turn off video of their communication with the dude and be like, I don't know, should we go? It feels like every time we get ourselves in some trouble when we do things.
It's a museum. It's a tourist attraction. If we go in and we don't touch anything, and we make sure that we keep Memphis's hands tied so we can't touch anything, and then we don't touch anything, and then we tie Memphis's hands so we can't touch anything.
I think
you should be okay.
I feel like I'm being slighted here.
So we need to tie Memphis's hands twice. Okay, got it.
You can just tell me I don't need to go.
Look at the squirrel over there.
Can't he just not have hands, though? Doesn't that do nothing, really?
That's a fair point. All right, Memphis, you're in the middle. We're just going to keep an eye on you. Please don't, warp the island into nothingness.
Right. Okay. I wasn't planning to, but thanks for the heads up.
Great.
You're just, you get into a lot of...
excitement.
Patience.
Well...
You're adventure incarnate, basically.
I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but thank you, I guess.
It's a commentary.
Okay. I guess that's valid. I'll go ahead and flick open the channel. And again, sir, there was 4 in our party.
Ah, yes, very good. I can tell you are certainly fans of the Doctor.
Yes, actually.
Very good. You can pilot your vessel into my docking bay, and I will begin the tour.
Sounds good.
All right, we can lock up the TARDIS. You'll be unable to get in and see about the facility. And...
Yes, but what if you can do something where we won't be able to get back to the TARDIS?
Perhaps.
You can time travel.
Perhaps.
Let's just go to the museum, and if we pretend really, really hard that nothing's going to happen, maybe nothing will happen.
I guess.
And we'll all...
There's that whole new wave of stuff of like manifestation. We can do that. Yep.
Not to brag, but that's old wave for me.
Okay, fine.
Very well. She starts like physically piloting the TARDIS.
While we're going there, I'm just going to go kind of, Sahin, is there just something you have against learning, with museums too? I mean, it's just a museum. Come on.
No. This has nothing to do with the learning side of things. This has everything to do with every time we go somewhere, we get into trouble.
Right, but does it mean that this guy's going to be trouble? It could be something else.
You don't know that. You do not know that, sir.
You sit down inside the docking bay of the ship and step out. Rilda does anyway, is looking about. Oh, hello. As the frogman is shuffling forward to greet all of you. And, of course, there's the small matter of the entry fee, a mere 500 galactic credits.
Look at Rilda. Is that a lot?
Depends on the time, the exchange rates, and inflation.
I make sure to step further into back into the TARDIS, and TARDIS? How, is that a lot?
Seems like a lot.
Is that per person?
It's very...
Yes.
Oh.
It's a very touristy location, so I don't know. Does the TARDIS have 2,000 galactic credit things?
No. Rilda's already talking to the fellows. Well, what if we could offer you something in trade in terms of compensation, not the ship? The frogman looks over it and he's like, I would want that knockoff anyway. What are you, some sort of cheap fan fiction?
That's us.
Whatever floats your ship.
I mean, it works pretty well for us.
Very well. You may give me the credits or something that I deem equally worthwhile.
Well, I'm a kid, so you said I can get in free.
You've taken the shape of a child.
Yeah. Well, they said I can't, touch anything, so might as well just, do the whole kid thing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, all right then.
Thanks.
I don't have any possessions apart from a sword that is part of my physical body.
I don't really have any possessions either, and I don't think any of us have any money.
Yeah, Rilda's looking to him. Would you take a marshmallow recipe? Of what? And no.
Well, no, hold on. Wait until you've tasted one. And I looked at Rilda like...
Oh, they're gone. We ate them all. Sorry?
I thought you said...
They're quite delicious.
I'm going to go into the food replicator and have the food replicator produce the raw ingredients.
Not just produce the marshmallows? Okay. So you come out with various powders and gelatins and...
No. Like the component piece, not that raw.
Okay.
We're talking the raw ingredients for a s'more?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the raw ingredients for a marshmallow, because that was what he was offering. Okay, so you come up with the ingredients for a s'more and just kind of hand it to him. It's like holding a piece of chocolate, a marshmallow, and some crackers. And if this is meant to be a joke...
Eat that.
No, this is the beginning of delicious.
Just eat it.
Point to the marshmallow. Okay, he picks up the marshmallow and starts... It's not very much to my taste, honestly.
What is to your taste, then?
Kind of gestures to his own physiology. Take a wild guess.
Well, maybe, sir, instead of chocolate, we can go put like some insect or some sort of bug.
Go back into the TARDIS and have it give me some chocolate-covered ants.
Okay. You bring those back out, kind of looking back into the TARDIS. It's like...
I close the door.
So, impressive little ship, although it hardly matches Time Lord technology, I'm sure.
I hand him the what I got from...
Okay. He's like, All right, do you have 1,500 credits worth of this? Ideally more, so I could sell it and make a profit. Make this worthwhile.
I'm going to go back inside.
Back into the
garbage bag.
Close the door.
A garbage bag, really?
No,
a large container.
Just a container.
You find some like big tub.
And just look at ask the TARDIS, is this like gonna be okay for you to give us without like depleting anything?
It kind of gives a cha. Like, okay. Really? Must you ask?
Well, I just don't want to. Okay.
This starts churning out this flood. It's like you've opened the bulk
and then we shove the container under it.
Just floods out into the tub, and you just have to kind of like roll it back out and set it before him. It's like, oh, and this will seal quite nicely. I could probably sell this over at Takara's Prime, and well, one of the stranger transactions I've ever made, but I think this could be beneficial. Very well. You may step this way, join me in the museum.
Yep. We make sure the TARDIS is locked, and then we follow him.
On my way out the door, I would try and be the last one out the door and just kind of whisper to the TARDIS of, stay safe, don't let anybody in. Come to us if something goes wrong.
Just kind of an image of it like hopping over, and it's like, if it comes to it, we'll see.
In my little kid's form, I'm going to go reach up and hold Sahin's hand and just kind of let her guide me.
I startle at first and be like, what are you? Oh, okay, right, okay.
I just kind of picture Memphis wearing like a beanie hat with a propeller.
Right, yeah. A big sucker, just like...
Yeah.
And is your hand sticky?
Oh, sorry. That I kind of do the whole like kid thing where I kind of wipe it off.
On your shirt.
Children's hands always sticky. These are the rules.
Right, yeah. So I'm just having a lollipop, but I'm just kind of...
I hold your hand with 2 fingers.
All right. As Garandel starts taking you into a different chamber and starts taking you through. So, of course, you will have heard our famous claim that this is in fact the site where the Doctor finally met his end. He was here for a number of centuries, hiding out in secrecy from the evil Time Lords who were on his tail, that finally they caught up to him. And now you see, and he points over and gestures, and you see kind of hanging on a rack is this long, flowing coat. Behold, his final garment.
What?
He just wore a coat?
Like, I'm like over the top. Yeah. Like,
there's like a...
You don't say, what?
There's like an audible musical sting over the ship's speakers. He seems to like pressed a button in his pocket to trigger. Yes.
But sir, he just wore a coat.
Does he notice my sarcasm?
Probably not.
Okay.
He's been paid at this point. He's fine. Starts taking you through the different displays. And here is the rock on which he stood, where he drew his final breath. And of course you see that Orbis was completely obliterated by the Time Lords to make certain that he was destroyed. There's like 50 billion different reasons why this story is not adding up. Anyway, but weirdly, as he's going through different items, there's enough here that it seems like Rilda is actually kind of nodding. It's like, yes, I don't see how we would have been able to acquire all of these items unless the Doctor actually was here at some point. So apparently I was on the correct path before.
Were you following the doctor?
Yes, we figured that out.
Well, I must have spaced out on that conversation. I was probably worried about Kizma.
She pats you on the shoulder.
While Memphis is, enjoying his lollipop and holding Sahin's hand, and he gets close to some, various artifacts
to see. Away from things.
He gets as close as he can to various artifacts.
For Grift to keep you in line.
Does he feel a connection that any of these artifacts are not here in the proper realm or reality?
Well, that's not a bad idea.
How are you trying to gauge this?
And do you communicate this to?
No, because I don't have telepathic anything.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead. At least I don't think I have telepathy. Nope. Yeah. But I don't know if I know before you said we just feel something odd about various artifacts. I don't know if you want this to be Genesis or Doctor Who related. But
I mean, you're just kind of getting the sense that something of the story is true, if not all of it.
Google, stop it. I'm trying to write Memphis's name, and it keeps auto-correcting it to Memphis, like the town.
You can add to dictionary, and it helps. Let's say awareness, ingenuity, just kind of smush some attributes together.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and use... we'll use... Let's see. First one gets you 2. We'll use 4 story points to get a grand total. 3 story points in order to get 4 extra dice.
Okay.
I feel like it weirdly got silent and then all the...
Well, it's easier to cut out.
Okay. And you said what was the awareness?
Ingenuity.
Awareness, ingenuity. That's 6 there. 29.
Okay. That is a solidly good result. So...
It's a good result, not fantastic?
Yes.
Yeah, what the heck. We'll go bump it up to fantastic.
Okay. So then, kind of looking over the various items, you, with your Varden energies, are, licking your lollipop, are just sort of looking over these and kind of reading the energies of them. And some of them appear that do have that Time Lord aura about them. And
okay, but I was going to ask, none are like the staff or like the goggles or anything like that, where they're from a different realm per se.
Goggles?
Or
the visor you had before.
Oh, the visor. Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing appears to read like that. Everything appears to have originated from this reality.
Okay, that's good to know.
Bo's goggles, and I was like, we never had anything like that.
Oh, like the visor that lets you see into the Shadowrun world. And as it's a very short tour, as starting to be wrapped up by Garandel, and here we have the fabled sonic screwdriver, and it's like this, some sort of item that's propped up on a little display case. It is clearly not anything so technologically advanced. It's just, probably like some sort of tool from a workshop that he just was like, polished up and stuck something to it to make it look sci-fi-ish.
It's only a model.
Yeah. So there you have it. Irrefutable proof that the Doctor was here in the Orbis system, was on that planet, and the planet and the Doctor were thusly destroyed by the Time Lords.
I go raise my... Oh, go ahead.
That's fascinating.
I go raise my little, ravioli-sized fist with the sucker and just like, since I'm holding Sahin's hand with the other, like, sir, question.
Yes, little one.
If he was destroyed in the planet, how come you got all these items? Wouldn't they all be destroyed?
You see, Time Lord creations have special protective energies that unfortunately were not enough to preserve the man himself.
But a coat?
Yes, the entire coat. Mind you, it was a bit more damaged when I first acquired it. I've had to do some reconstruction.
So it's not
you such a bright little one.
Yeah.
Well, if there are no further questions...
I'll go raise my hand again.
If there are no further questions, we will be seeing you back to your ship and on your way. Thank you for the payment. I hope you are satisfied customers, and we'll conclude our adventure together.
But sir, what were the evil doctors called?
The who? The what?
You said there were evil people that tried to pursue them to here. What were they called? Just evil doctor?
Time Lords.
Evil Time Lords? Oh. So are you saying that Time Lords are evil?
I would never say anything that would reflect poorly on my good name.
Of course, sir. I like to do an insight check, whatever that is in this. I don't know what that would be.
Yeah, what have I been calling it? Awareness something. Awareness...
Subterfuge, maybe?
Sure, awareness subterfuge. Kind of
Okay.
sneakily gauge.
13.
Okay. From what you're able to tell, this is a guy who's just out to make some quick money. He's just not trying to ruffle any feathers, and just now that you've paid and he's done the perfunctory tour, he's just trying to scooch you out the door.
Is there a gift shop?
Oh, well, we haven't installed one of those yet, but would you be interested in purchasing one of these artifacts?
So which out of the artifacts resonated the most of actually being authentic?
The coat, and there was apparently some sort of like a Victorian cravat, and there actually would have been some sort of Earth-style clothing. Looks like it belonged to a young lady.
But nothing resonated as being from a different reality.
No.
Okay. And there's no like actual gadgetry that was actually probably related to the doctor at all. It sounds like it's more just apparel.
Nothing convincing, at least.
Okay. Well, do you have like anything, that wasn't on the tour that maybe could be purchased?
Would you like to purchase some chocolate-covered ants?
Well, no, because we just gave that to you, sir.
Such a smart child.
I tug on Memphis's hand and say, I think we need to go back to the ship, dear.
Oh, but Mom.
It's time for you to go. It appears as though I've got another new customer actually coming in.
Do you only do one tour group at a time?
Oh, usually
I agree with the man. I think we should leave right now.
Usually we're
Okay, let's go.
completely swamped
And
with
I
customers.
yank Memphis along with
Pleasure
me.
doing business with you. We'll see you later.
And
Of course.
hustle back to the TARDIS, because I don't want to be here when whoever this is shows up.
Okay. Rather abruptly, the entire ship just
Yep. Oh, yeah.
judders as Garandel looks about. What? And quickly runs over to his communications console. What is the meaning of this? You are not any sort of law enforcement, and I haven't done anything wrong. And a voice just replies back over the speakers. Well, you have, actually. You see, you've made some rather outlandish claims, and it has been slandering the reputation of a good friend of mine. Well, I say friend. And you see, when his name is brought a little lower, it makes me look bad in turn. So I'd like to set the record straight. The doctor didn't die here. That day hasn't come yet. When it does, I'll be there. And I'll be the one to do it. I've been gone for a while, but I think this is a good stop on our path to mutual enlightenment. The line goes dead.
Was it just audio or was there a visual?
Just audio.
Oh, okay. Does it sound like Scarvy?
It does not.
Okay,
Sounds
just
like
one.
Jack? But that's out of character.
Bless you.
In character, I'm thinking, sounds like an in-universe problem. Let's leave.
Yes. That's exactly.
All right.
And
So you guys start booking it back to the TARDIS?
Yep.
Okay. everyone is running, because Doctor Who's always running down corridors, and managed to make your way back into the hangar, and Rilda opens up the TARDIS, and you guys pile back inside. Garandil, last you saw, was bustling about his ship. I'll sue. I'll report you. And this is like shouting out all these threats as he's trying to regain control of his ship.
Let's get out of here. Like, next stop, ASAP.
This is, you guys are piling back into the TARDIS, all the lights.
Of the TARDIS?
Nope, of the ship.
Let's get out of here, guys.
And Gilda's looking back out the door. Oh, well, the doors are closed. We'll have to dematerialize in here.
Well, we'll all help you. Let's get gone.
Right. Indeed. All three of us pile onto the console with her.
As you guys start...
not on the console, but...
Yeah,
what I mean.
Dog pile.
You guys start clacking away at the controls, trying to make your next jump. The TARDIS begins to... as the central console begins to rise and fall. And you actually hear, inside the TARDIS, oh, what's this? Huh. Well, Time Lord technology.
Can we get out of here? I'm like furiously poking buttons.
I choose to be flattered by this. As you guys can make your piloting attempt. And it is going to be opposed by this mysterious person.
I'm going to spend both of my remaining story points on this one.
Okay.
And I'm going to be yelling at everyone around the console. I told you, when we go places, bad things happen.
She was right. She's totally right.
But then we wouldn't go anywhere.
And I go ahead and, with my little sticky hands, just...
Wash your hands and then get back to normal size, please.
Anyway, are we using story points to aid this roll then? Is what's going on? Or... Okay.
How are you gifting her story points if you're trying to help with her role? Are you just clacking away at the controls even though you're not sure what you're doing, or how are you trying to help?
I want one of my story points to be additionally like clacking away at the controls, doing whatever I think that needs to be done. And then the other story point, I'm going to say back to this mysterious person,
don't mind us, we're just tourists. We are well aware of the authenticity of this establishment. We'll be on our way and don't worry about it.
Technically, talkers go first, so we're going to address that first.
Oh, and I'm just thinking of gestures. Are you pooping?
At 25 words in the message. Okay, so you're going to be trying to convince this individual, so this will be a presence convince.
Or
would I aid?
Or the other one. Do donuts.
How would you aid, Memphis?
I'll go ahead, since I'm still in my kid form, to say it was not that good of a museum and all the stuff were all fake. I can even tell, and I'm a kid.
So I have no story points. I also have no presence.
Gotta be presence convince.
Now with me aiding, just
wait a second.
+2.
How many story points have you burned through? Don't we get we refresh them after a story arc?
Did you never said that we refresh them?
I had mentioned it before we started the game, but yes, once
I wasn't sure where the break was. Okay. Well, in that case, I have 6 story points left, and I'm going to spend 2 more to increase my chances.
Out of curiosity, with me aiding, do I just give him +2, or do I give him either my presence or convince?
+2.
Okay. Sorry, David, I can't help you out in that regard.
Ooh, but I rolled well. 28.
All right. So this individual has a presence of 6 and a resolve of 6. So we're looking at
that's really gross.
32.
Wow.
So that... Sorry, no, 31. But So that is a failure, but you can bump it to a success if you burn another story point.
I'm going to do that.
Okay. There's a pause before you hear, it's an intriguing offer, but I think I would like to get to know my ambassadors before I just see you out the door. And at this point, Rold is still trying to key in the
I'm
ship.
still helping her.
Your opponent spent some story points. Rold is going to burn some story points.
Can I burn some story points to help Rulda?
I already did spend 2 to help her, so if you want to spend more.
I'm helping her by pushing buttons.
Push the button! All right.
If I give her another story point, that gives her another die?
Yep.
Would it be better to give her another one? What's she rolling right now?
Currently, she is rolling 6 dice.
Is that with my 1 story point added?
Let's see. Start with 2 and then 2. Yeah.
Okay, so do you think I should give her another die to roll on this, guys?
The expected value of 66 is 21. So that's pretty decent. But maybe 1 more might help.
Okay, I'll give her 1 more.
Okay. She does have... I can give you her ingenuity tech. Her ingenuity is only 1.
And the extra die.
Yeah, I didn't know. Sorry, no. It's ingenuity transport.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, it is ingenuity tech.
Oh.
Which is weird, but why wouldn't it be transport? Anyway, what it says in the target sheet, so that's what I'm going to go by. And so ingenuity, and then her tech is 6. So her tech is good.
Can she use my ingenuity? My ingenuity is 2.
You'd be better off giving her a die at that point. All right. Okay.
She definitely don't want my tech, though. I have 0 in tech.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. So she needed a 30. She got a 31.
Oh.
So that is a yes, but she does still have some story points if you guys want to try to bump it up.
I have some story points too. I have 8 left. How many does she have left?
She still has 4.
Okay, I'll spend 1 of mine.
Okay.
If that's acceptable.
For like this sort of thing, I would say like how do you like basically as she's keying it in, the TARDIS is so how do you bump it up to get a good?
I would like. Does it? I feel like from a previous, like helping her previously, I've been getting a bit more familiar with the console, and I'm like, oh, the TARDIS needs. I push this button, like it needs this. I don't know.
Oh, we left the handbrake on.
Yeah, it's something super simple, but it's like I've gotten familiar with the console, so
all right.
I'm able to intuit some things.
Okay. So as you've been informed that this person wants to keep you around to get to know his emissaries, the rest of you frantically scramble over the controls and begin to dematerialize. And you just hear, oh, well, suppose we'll just have to call it chase then. Whoa, yeah. Ingenuity 9.
Who is this person?
As you guys dematerialize and once again find yourselves hurtling through the space-time vortex, somehow the proximity, like time and space proximity alarm is going across the TARDIS that is alerting you that there is another time vessel on your tail.
Wow, this guy's really, really nosy. Like, he doesn't even know who we are. He's just like, I'm going to follow you because... What a jerk.
The TARDIS just kind of seems to give a virtual nod of agreement.
TARDIS, can you get any readings on his vessel?
Well, that'd be up to you guys if you're trying to use the... Let's see, what would this be? Like communications, sensors. Your sensors are currently at a -5 because they're old and damaged.
Oofed.
But you can try to use the sensors to try to get a reading on his vessel if you want.
What would the roll be?
Ingenuity tech.
No, that's not a good one for me.
-5.
Yep.
So I'd be starting off with a 2.
I've got a base of 5 on that.
Well, I got a base of 7, so minus the 5, I would be having the 2 left over.
All right, but this is trying to get a trustworthy reading while you're hurtling through the space-time vortex. I'm going to call it hard, so you're aiming for an 18.
We have Rule to help? Because she has 6 tech, right?
Yep.
So how would that work? Would Rhoda make the roll then?
Well, it would take point, and if you guys are trying to assist her, she would take
bonuses.
bonuses.
Memphis, you have a base of 7 total for ingenuity and tech.
Mm-hmm. So with the minus 5, I would be rolling 2.
Okay.
That's the same as her.
Okay. So...
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and use 3 story points to get 4 more dice.
And if Rule does helping, that adds plus...
2.
2? Okay.
Let me do some math.
He do the math.
Yeah.
No, math.
He do the maths.
I got...
2. That's what I think of every time.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. I got a grand total of 19, which is 1 over the 18 threshold, which means I got a success.
It'll be a success.
Yeah.
Yep, you are getting a read on this vessel. It is, in fact, a TARDIS.
Oh, no. Okay.
It is a fully operational, mostly, console that appears to be listed in the TARDIS, your TARDIS's databanks as having been acquired by less than legitimate means by yet another renegade Time Lord, a fellow goes by the name the Master.
Oh no.
You should have just blasted that museum and left.
Yeah. I told you nothing good happens when we go places. Generally speaking. The last one, yeah, sure, we got tied up and all, but we ended up having s'mores, so that wasn't so bad. It didn't start so great.
You are hearing the speakers again at this point. Well, you're certainly not the doctor, but I've missed this sort of thing.
When the records tell us that he's a renegade, is that like... oh, that naughty guy running around and breaking all the rules, or is it just like, this guy kills people?
Both.
If we were to see records of the actual doctor, would we be able to look up records of the doctor, having heard reference to the doctor both at the museum and...
You can certainly do so.
Yeah, because I would like to compare the doctor to the Master. And
okay. You're gonna do some light reading while you're being chased through the vortex?
I mean, what else are we gonna do? How are we gonna get rid of him?
Well, so if talking's a free action, you just ask the computer to narrate, and then it can narrate an unlimited amount. Yeah, that's a free action.
Do that.
That's how it works.
The Doctor and the Master's interactions with each other began back on the Academy on Gallifrey.
No, that's not what I was asking for. I was asking for a comparison of, the Master is a renegade and kills people, breaks rules and kills people. The Doctor, on the other hand, is what?
As you object to the TARDIS's narration, you're like, no, this is what I wanted. It pauses and then presents. The Doctor goes around the cosmos, attending to minor problems and great ones, and trying to make the cosmos a better place to live. The Master likes to go places and try to gain control, his catchphrase being, "You will obey me." And you just hear over the speakers at this point because you got a success butt, so this guy's basically been monitoring you this whole time. That is my catchphrase. It'll be nice to use it again.
Screw you.
Well, that's not very fitting for a children's program.
Yeah, Mom.
Oh, grow up. And she means it.
So you understand then why we should probably convene before I'm forced to eliminate you. I want to make sure you get your story straight.
I'm going to look for a way to turn off like him being able to hear us.
Like you're able to find the button on the lever on the console. Just you can shut off the communications.
He's so annoying.
Yeah.
Well,
So
Wilda, any ideas?
Are you still a little kid, Memphis?
Yeah, you can. You
Grow
can totally
up.
I'm gonna wait until this adventure is over, and just in case if I need to keep the guys going.
Why would you need that?
Maybe you won't kill
So
kids.
perhaps a bigger question is, what do we do next?
Yeah. Do you think there's any way we can like lose him? He seems to be
Nefarious.
Yeah, and far more powerful than us.
Well, Wilda, any ideas?
Oh, hold on. I am getting a brainchild. No offense.
None taken.
We'll see. She'll bring her last story point to see if she's in. Okay. Yes, I think. All right. The location I was at before. So after that one would be. Oh no. Well.
Gallifrey?
Well, no, not Gallifrey. Earth again. I think we're headed for Earth, and I think there were Daleks involved. So, we could try to pit the Daleks against this fellow.
Will that work?
I don't know.
I'm not going to team up.
I feel like I never knew this version of the Master. I feel like I knew like an older, more calm version.
Well,
So this is a younger and more brash version?
I suppose, yes. He also sounds American. Ugh.
I guess it's worth a try.
Hey, TARDIS? Is there anything at all we can do? Do you have any ideas?
The TARDIS appears to give the equivalent of, I am navigating us through the space-time vortex and evading his attempts to lock onto us with a tractor beam.
Okay, yes, good. Keep doing that and I pat the console. Good TARDIS.
Which, that like you are getting the sense that, the TARDIS is managing to prevent it from happening, but it does seem as though the Master is trying to use his tractor beam to lock on.
Wilda, do you happen to know what time frame this is on Earth that we're going to?
21st century, I think.
Okay.
Wait,
you think
it's under that 2020 year that we were never supposed to go to, right?
No, of course not.
Oh, good. Wait, I have a brilliant idea. Let's lure the Master to 2020.
Oh, I would advise against that. 2020 has gone through enough.
But Wilda, do you? This is a. I mean, it looks like a telephone box on the outside. Is there a telephone inside the TARDIS?
Oh, suppose we could make one.
Do you think UNIT would have changed its number by now?
Oh.
That's actually not a bad idea.
But to try to call UNIT, I'm pretty sure where we land on Earth is... I'm not sure how quickly they would arrive, but we can certainly make the call and try to have them rendezvous with us.
Yes, let's.
Okay, I'm gonna go call the number then.
They're like the only people on Earth that tend to deal with alien things.
And Memphis, for real, you really probably should turn back into an adult for this one. They're not going to listen to John's voice.
True.
Hello, can I speak to the Brigadier, please?
Who is this?
Hi, Brigadier. I'll go ahead and...
Memphis.
Well, yeah, you remember.
All right, so what rooms do we still have available? We can make a... Or not, because we can like connect it to the communications. But then I guess if you actually want a telephone to use, then yeah, we need to have it in a different room.
I think just like a phone like sitting on the console or something you can pick up. I don't think we need like a full room.
Well, you would need to close off the console room to like conjure a telephone in the...
Oh, so you have to modify the room like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have a spare room or no?
Room 2 is the Mad Artist Laboratory, which we might not need at the moment.
We can always try and recreate that.
Destruction is inherent in art.
So basically, you're going to be... spatial modifications. You're going to do an ingenuity tech difficulty 15 to try to basically bring a telephone into existence on the TARDIS. Who wants to do that?
So it was tech what?
Ingenuity.
Ingenuity. Oh, yeah, no, I should not take point on this.
My base is a 7, so I'd imagine I'm maybe taking point.
Take point.
Okay.
And grow up, please, Memphis. Remember, we've talked about this. They won't listen.
Fine, Mom. I'll go ahead and make my way to the thing at the same time, aging to whatever age Memphis is actually.
Just age to an adult age of, I really could care less. Just make sure you look like an adult. You don't actually have to be an adult. Just look like an adult. Sound like an adult, okay? I will take that.
Just walk around in a deep, manly voice like Boss Baby and just like... Anyway, so what do I need to roll, Seth? Ingenuity technology, you say?
Yep.
Okay.
Ooh, the TARDIS is going to have to burn a story point to... Like you feel the TARDIS like lurch. It feels as though you've been locked in a tractor beam, and then like shudders as it breaks free. But the TARDIS has burned a story point for that. And
18.
How many story points does the TARDIS have left?
It's going to have 6. Wait, no, just a time travel. You spend 1, so that's going to be 5 left.
Okay.
So was that Memphis?
18 to create a phone.
Yep, that'll do it. You create what appears to be a functional phone. It is a success. Not a good result, so there might be some catch.
We'll keep it at...
Out of curiosity, can we leave the artist studio pretty much untouched and just add a phone to it?
Sure. This is like a spatial modification.
Okay.
So as you quickly program them in, boopity boop boop boop, and like the room just kind of cooks for a minute, ding, as it has finished conjuring the phone.
Finished baking.
Yep. And
the phone.
Door slides open. You guys run inside. Memphis, you grab the phone.
I'll go ahead and I'm guessing I probably knew what line I was on to get to the Frigidaire originally because I was going through the phone lines and whatnot.
Yep, the Frigidaire.
The Frigidaire.
Brigadier.
I thought I said it, but I guess I didn't. Brigadier.
Brigadier.
All right. So then, let's see, where are the...
Basically, put a deer in the brig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Communication systems are at a -2 just because they're so ancient. And yeah, so you are... okay. Yeah, this is going to be... You're looking at a difficulty 21 to try to call unit headquarters.
Can I help?
Yeah.
Okay.
What am I adding here, by the way?
I think this is just Ingenuity Tech again. Yep.
Ingenuity Tech?
Yep.
So basically what I would do is negate the -2 if I'm helping.
We'll go ahead.
So is this like a button dial, a rotary dial? Like what's your setup?
Sorry, I'm using story points here, so let me really quick record how many I'm using, just so I can get the dice out, so that way I don't forget how many I used. There we go. I don't know. I guess Memphis would have gone with the one that he last saw, so whatever it was in the 1980s, which is probably, rotary then, I would imagine.
No, actually,
or no.
80s had touchtone.
Oh, true, yeah. What am I thinking?
Yeah, there were buttons. I remember early 90s.
So, all right, I'll go ahead and make that roll then.
Okay.
And because Sahin's helping me, I don't need to worry about the -2.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay, so it's just whatever I roll. Okay, so that'll be 10, 20 total. Got 2 story points left.
Okay. Do you want to spend a story point to get it to a success?
Sure.
I can spend 1 if you want, since I'm helping. I have 7 left.
I mean, sure, if you want to use one of yours.
Yeah, I'll use one of mine.
All my dice have been mostly 2s and 3s, so it's been kind of sucky.
All right. The call goes through. It is kind of garbly, and after it rings for a moment, you just hear a voice on the other end as the line is picked up. Hello, who is this? How did you get this number?
Yes, hello. My name is Memphis McDonald. I've met units previously in 1970s and the 1980s with Brigadier Stewart. I forget the rest of his name.
Lethbridge Stewart.
Yeah, Lethbridge Stewart. I'm guessing by now he's probably retired.
Do you have any unit credentials? This is Brigadier Winifred Bambera.
No, we just made contact. We were helping them out with the Lioness operation.
Oh,
I
yes.
feel like our credentials are the ability to call the number in the first place.
Oh, apparently this has speakerphone.
I was just...
Oh, okay.
You understand, we deal with some rather sketchy types. Different aliens have different abilities. As I recall, one of the aliens involved in the Lioness business had the ability to transfer itself through technology.
You're speaking to the one, yes.
I see.
I thought it would be nice maybe this time to actually do the phone call because it seemed to be a little apprehensive last time with me actually showing up. So,
But we do appreciate when you call ahead, yes.
yes. So we're calling ahead to let you know that we're currently being followed and what's saying?
I'm just trying to tell you to move on. Get to it.
There's an individual called the Master, a renegade Time Lord, bad chap. That seems to be making their way to.
Lurches.
He's on our tail. I'm trying to
making
yell
your-
into the phone.
Yeah, making his way towards Earth right now. So, like you said, thought to give you a heads up.
Well, I don't know what I'm meant to do about that.
Well, TARDIS, I'll go ahead and TARDIS, do you happen to know where we're landing?
You are landing in Utah.
Do you have a Utah operation
What?
of unit?
We have an American branch, yes.
It appears that us and him are going to be arriving in Utah, and if I got the coordinates, I'll go ahead and relay it to them.
It appears as though you're going to be landing, you can give the coordinates in Utah in 2005.
Okay. I'll relay as much information as we have.
All right. Well, I'll try to make arrangements for it. That's well over a decade in the future.
Sounds good. It should give you plenty of time then to set up shop.
We'll see. There's certain rules to dealing with this sort of information. We can't move too soon, you understand?
Of course, yes. Time is a weird construct.
Very good. We'll do what we can.
Thank you very much.
And if this is a double cross, you will be destroyed.
Sounds good. You're more than welcome to it.
As you say, we have much time to prepare.
Of course you do. Thank you very much.
Brigadier out.
Memphis out. Duke. Well, they have 10 years to prepare, so we should be pretty good. Hopefully.
Time is weird. We keep having this thing going on.
It's going to be over a decade. So that's it.
Well, then they got more time. Also, we get to meet the Americans, which we haven't yet. We all met these Londonium people, so that should be fun.
All right, so as you guys are hurtling through the vortex, you guys eventually Rolda calls out from back in the console room, "Oh, I think we're about to," as you guys seem to land and skid almost as you rematerialize. And as you run back into the console room, Rolda has brought up on the scanner what looks to be the image of a Dalek facing the front of the TARDIS. And once again, that voice comes over the TARDIS in the interior. Well, this will be interesting. And that's where we're going to pick it up next time.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
The next time we see a ship floating in the middle of nowhere, we are going to nuke it.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Whoa, blow it out of the sky and complete tracks.
Whoa. Garendel did nothing wrong. Well,
he did a lot wrong. Let's be honest.
He was just running a scam. He wasn't hurting anyone.
Was he, though?
It's going to blow him up for that.
We all knew that this was going to go wrong, and it did. It wasn't even Memphis.
Yeah, I didn't touch anything.
I told you it doesn't matter. It just goes wrong.
But Saheen, if we don't do anything, we'll never figure out anything.
This is fair, but if we do things, it goes wrong.
Well, might as well do it on our terms of doing it wrong.
Curse you, Murphy!
Yes.
All right, so we'll see what happens next time. That took some turns, so I have some things to prepare. But we'll see how it goes next time on Tim Portalers. Thanks for checking out our show. If you want to learn more about us, follow us at Tim Portalers on Twitter, or you can email us directly at tim.portalers@gmail.com.